Tell me, what if I told you that you could manifest anything you desire just by repeating three simple words? Would you dare to believe it? I know that many of you may have heard about the law of assumption, and some may even be familiar with the idea that what we believe we create. But what if I told you that you already have the power within you to manifest exactly what you desire, simply by embracing the idea that your inner world is the real cause of everything you experience in the outer world? This is not just a theory, it's a practical truth that can be applied to every aspect of your life, from wealth and success to health and relationships. And it starts with understanding the most powerful tool you possess, your imagination. Imagination is not just a whimsical escape into fantasies or daydreams. It is the creative force that shapes your reality. Everything you see, touch, and experience in your life is first a product of your thoughts and assumptions, which are deeply connected to your imagination. The world around you reflects the internal world you hold within. If you wish to change your outer circumstances, you must begin by changing the way you perceive and imagine them. When you consciously direct your imagination to a specific outcome, you are not simply hoping or wishing for something to happen. No, you are actively shaping that reality in your mind, assuming it to be true and feeling it as though it has already occurred. This is where the power of assumption comes into play. The assumption is not just a casual thought or idle wish. It is a belief, a deep-seated knowing that the reality you desire is already yours. The moment you fully embrace this assumption and live from it, your outer world will begin to reflect the assumption of your heart. Take wealth, for instance. Many people struggle with the concept of manifesting money or success because they view it as something separate from themselves. They think of wealth as a distant goal, something that happens to a lucky few or that requires years of hard work. But what if I told you that wealth is not a distant dream, but an internal state of being that you can claim right now? The key to manifesting wealth is not in chasing after it, but in embodying the feeling of being wealthy in every moment. This is where the power of assumption comes into play once again. Instead of thinking of yourself as someone who wants wealth, start thinking and feeling as though you are wealthy already. Imagine yourself living in abundance, feeling the security, the freedom, and the joy that comes with having more than enough. The moment you assume that you are wealthy, you begin to align with that reality, and the world must conform to your assumption. The law of assumption operates not through force or struggle, but through alignment. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with your desired outcome, you create a vibration that matches the reality you want to manifest. This is the essence of the law of attraction. Like attracts like. If you walk through life believing that you are wealthy, you will begin to attract situations, people, and opportunities that match that assumption. Your world will begin to shift, and you will notice the evidence of your assumptions showing up in your life. This is not coincidence, but the direct result of your inner beliefs and assumptions taking form in the physical world. Now, some may argue that it's difficult to believe in something when you don't have any evidence of it yet. But this is where the true power of imagination comes in. Imagination is not bound by the limitations of the present moment. It allows you to transcend the current circumstances and to create a new reality. If you want to experience wealth, you don't need to wait until the money appears in your bank account. All you need to do is close your eyes. Imagine yourself already in possession of the wealth you desire and feel the emotions that come with it. Imagine the freedom, the joy, the confidence that comes with being financially abundant. Feel the sense of ease and security that wealth brings. This is the essence of living in the state of your wish fulfilled. It's important to understand that the feeling of already having is key to manifestation. It's not enough to just repeat affirmations or visualize your desires. You must feel them as though they are already real. When you embody the feeling of having what you want, You send out a vibration to the universe that aligns with your desire. Your imagination, when combined with the feeling of already having, becomes a powerful force that shapes your reality. The world responds to your belief and feeling, and you will begin to see changes in your outer world that reflect your inner assumptions. The process of manifesting is not something that happens overnight, but it is a process that works consistently and powerfully when you apply it with faith and conviction. It requires patience, persistence, and most importantly, belief. Belief in yourself, belief in the power of your imagination, and belief that your assumptions create your reality. As you continue to live in the state of your wish fulfilled, you will begin to notice that your desires are being realized in ways that feel almost effortless. This is the magic of assumption. It's not magic in the sense of mystical forces or external interventions. It's magic in the sense that when you align your thoughts and feelings with the reality you wish to create, the universe must respond in kind. It is a law as reliable and constant as any natural law in the universe. When you assume the feeling of your desire as though it has already been fulfilled, you are in harmony with the natural flow of creation, and your desires must manifest. You see, manifestation is not about hoping or wishing. It's about knowing and assuming that what you desire is already yours. It's about living in the state of your wish fulfilled and allowing that state to guide your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. This is how you bring your desires into your reality. And when you master this process, you will realize that you have the power to manifest anything you desire, no matter how big or small. The key is to live in the assumption of your desire and to feel it as though it is already real. When you do this, the world will reflect your inner belief and your reality will shift to match your assumptions. The power is already within you. Your imagination is the key to unlocking your dreams. And by using it in harmony with the law of assumption, you can manifest any reality you choose. Your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings are all working together to create your world. It's time to take control of this process and consciously create the life you desire. The second aspect of manifestation lies in repetition. And repetition is not simply about saying words or affirmations. It is about consistently assuming the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Imagine for a moment that you are already living in the reality you desire. You see it, you feel it, and you experience it as though it is happening right now. Repeating a phrase or affirmation is not merely about speaking words into the air. It's about bringing your entire being into alignment with the experience of having what you desire. When I first began applying this principle to manifest wealth, I didn't focus on the lack of money or the struggle to acquire it. I didn't concentrate on the idea that I might have to work hard to gain it or wait for the right opportunities to present themselves. Instead, I focused on the one key truth: I am already wealthy. I would repeat these words not from a place of wanting, but from a place of knowing that I am already living in the state of wealth. The words "I am wealthy" were not a future wish. They were a present truth, spoken with the feeling of already having what I desired. You see, the words themselves are not magic. The magic is in the feeling, in the belief that what you are repeating is already true. If you repeat something with doubt, hesitation, or disbelief, it will have no power to bring about change. But when you repeat words that reflect the truth of your desire, when you say them with a deep conviction that they are true now, you are activating a powerful creative force. This force begins to reshape your world to reflect that assumption. For example, the phrase "I am wealthy" may sound simple, but when you say it, it is crucial that you do so with the feeling of already being wealthy. Visualize the lifestyle that wealth brings. Feel the freedom that comes with having financial abundance. Imagine waking up every day with the security and confidence of knowing that you have more than enough to live comfortably, to enjoy life, and to share with others. Let the feeling of wealth saturate your mind and body as you repeat these words. The key to manifestation is in living from the state of your wish fulfilled. This means that you do not wait for the physical evidence to appear before you believe it. You believe it first, and the physical evidence must follow. The practice of repetition is much like building a muscle. The more you repeat the feeling of having, the stronger the belief becomes, and the more natural it feels to live in that state. Just as a bodybuilder trains their muscles to grow stronger through consistent effort, you are training your mind and emotions to grow into the reality you desire. If you want wealth, you must feel wealthy. If you want success, you must feel successful. If you want love, you must feel loved. It's not about waiting for external circumstances to change before you feel these things. It's about changing your internal state first and then allowing the world to reflect that change. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when you look at your bank account and see the same balance you've always seen, when the world around you continues to reflect the same lack you've always experienced. But in those moments, you must remain steadfast in your assumption. This is where the true power of repetition comes in. Every time doubt arises, repeat the affirmation with even more conviction. Repeat it with the knowledge that your inner reality, your belief, will eventually be mirrored by the external world. Every time you feel the doubt, let that be the signal to reinforce your assumption. This is how you break the patterns of your old thinking and shift into the new reality you are creating. Remember, the world you see around you is not fixed. It is a fluid, ever-changing reflection of the assumptions you hold. Your circumstances are not a permanent state. They are simply the outward expression of the beliefs you hold about yourself and your life. If you want to change your circumstances, you must first change your beliefs. The more you repeat the assumption of having what you desire, the more your beliefs will shift, and your external reality will begin to change accordingly. It's a natural process, a law of the universe that can never fail. The more you repeat the feeling of already having, the more you begin to believe it. Your thoughts begin to align with your desires, and the momentum grows. You'll notice the signs of your manifestation on the horizon. Opportunities will appear, people will show up, and situations will begin to align in your favor. It is as though the universe has been waiting for you to make the shift in your consciousness. And as soon as you do, everything starts to fall into place. But here's the catch. Manifestation requires consistency. Just as you wouldn't expect to build a strong physique after a single workout, you cannot expect to manifest your desires by repeating a phrase or affirmation once or twice. This is a daily practice, a constant reaffirmation of the assumption that you already possess what you desire. You must live from the state of your wish fulfilled, not just for a few minutes or hours, but throughout the day. Every thought, every emotion, every action must be in alignment with the reality you wish to create. As you continue to repeat the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it will become easier. The thoughts of doubt will lessen, and the assumption will become second nature. You will begin to notice that your world is changing in subtle but profound ways. Perhaps you will receive a new job offer, an unexpected windfall, or a new connection that opens doors you never imagined. These are the signs that your inner reality is shifting, and your assumption is becoming your new truth. Manifestation is a process of aligning with your desired outcome in every aspect of your being. It is not just about speaking words, it is about living them. It's about making the assumption of already having and feeling it deeply. The more you repeat it, the more it becomes ingrained in your consciousness, and the more the world responds to that assumption. Your life will begin to reflect your deepest beliefs, and you will see your desires unfold before your very eyes. So, when you decide to manifest something, whether it's wealth, success, love, or any other desire, remember that the key lies in repetition. Repeat the words with feeling, live from the state of your wish fulfilled, and trust that your inner reality will soon be mirrored by the outer world. The process is simple, but it requires dedication and consistency. Stay focused on your desire, stay faithful to your assumption, and watch as your world transforms in ways you never thought possible. The law of assumption is always working, and it is always on your side. Trust in it and watch your desires come to life. To truly understand the power of assumption and manifestation, we must first grasp a fundamental concept. Your imagination is the key to transforming your life. The imagination is not just a tool for creating stories or fantasizing about a future life. It is the creative force behind everything you experience. It is the workshop of your mind where the seeds of your desires are planted and nurtured into reality. Your imagination is where everything begins, and it is where you must focus your energy to create the life you truly desire. The imagination is limitless, unrestricted by the boundaries of the present moment or the limitations of the material world. It is the realm where anything is possible. When you imagine a situation or experience, you are not simply playing with mental images or wishful thinking. No, when you engage your imagination with purpose and intent, you are engaging with the very forces of creation. Everything that exists in the physical world was once an idea, a thought, a vision in someone's mind. The chair you're sitting in, the phone you're using, and the car you drive were all once imagined into existence. So why is this important when it comes to manifestation? Because if you want to change your reality, you must first change the images, assumptions, and beliefs that reside in your imagination. The reality you experience is the result of the assumptions you carry about yourself and your life. If you want to manifest wealth, success, health, or love, you must first imagine yourself in the state of already having those things. You must see yourself as the person who already possesses what you desire. This is the magic of the imagination. It allows you to step into any state of being and live it as if it were true. If you want to be wealthy, you must imagine yourself as wealthy. Picture yourself living in abundance. Imagine the freedom of having more than enough money to fulfill your desires, the confidence that comes with financial security, the peace of knowing that you are not bound by the limitations of scarcity. Visualize yourself in the home of your dreams, driving the car you've always wanted, enjoying the lifestyle that wealth brings. Feel the emotions of wealth, joy, excitement, gratitude, freedom, as if they are already part of your present experience. But simply imagining yourself in a wealthy state is not enough. To bring that imagined reality into your life, you must engage your feelings. The feeling of already having what you desire is the key to unlocking the power of your imagination. You must not just see yourself as wealthy, you must feel wealthy. You must embody the emotions of wealth, success, and abundance as if they are already yours. This is where many people go wrong in their attempts to manifest. They may imagine themselves living a desired reality, but if they don't truly feel it, if they don't allow themselves to become emotionally involved with that image, it remains just that, an image. The emotional charge is what gives the image power. When you feel the reality of your desire, you align your inner world with the outer reality that you wish to create. The power of imagination is not in thinking or wishing, but in feeling. You see, thought alone does not create. It is the feeling that follows the thought that activates the creative power within you. When you imagine yourself as wealthy, don't just think about it, feel it. Feel the joy of having money, the relief of financial freedom, the sense of pride and satisfaction that comes with success. The more real and vivid the feeling, the more power you give to your imagination. It is the feeling that impresses the subconscious mind and causes the material world to conform to your inner assumptions. The imagination does not operate in the realm of time. It is not bound by the limitations of the present moment. When you imagine yourself living in wealth, you are not imagining it as something that will happen in the future. You are imagining it as if it is happening right now. You must live in the state of your wish fulfilled. The future is always in the now. The moment you accept and feel that you are already living your desired reality, you are creating it. Time as we know it is an illusion. Everything is happening simultaneously. When you imagine your desires already fulfilled, you collapse time and bring the future into the present. To illustrate this, think of an actor preparing for a role. Before the actor ever steps onto the stage or into the scene, they first imagine and embody the character they will portray. They practice the emotions, the gestures, and the mindset of the character. By doing so, they become that character in their mind before they physically take on the role. In the same way, you must mentally and emotionally become the person who has already achieved their desires before the physical manifestation of those desires can appear. The more vividly and fully you imagine yourself in that state, the more real it becomes in your world. Many people fail to manifest their desires because they think of imagination as mere daydreaming. But imagination is not a passive act. It is an active, creative force that shapes your reality. When you imagine yourself as wealthy, successful, or loved, you are engaging the law of assumption, which is simply the law of imagination in action. You are creating the belief that you already have what you desire, and your subconscious mind, the creative power within you, takes that assumption and begins to work in harmony with the universe to bring it into physical reality. The key to manifestation through imagination is consistency. Every time you imagine your desire, you are reinforcing the belief that it is already yours. Every time you feel the emotions of having it, you are building the momentum that will eventually lead to its physical expression. The more you imagine and feel, the more natural it becomes to live in the state of having, and the more quickly your desires will manifest. In conclusion, the imagination is not just a tool for wishful thinking. It is the creative power behind everything you experience. Your imagination is where your desires are born, and it is where your reality is shaped. When you imagine your desires as already fulfilled, when you feel the emotions of having them, you align your inner world with the outer world. And as your assumptions shift, so too does the material world, reflecting your inner state. The power of imagination is the power to create. And when you harness it with feeling and faith, your desires will inevitably come into your experience. The practice of living in the state of your wish fulfilled is without question one of the most powerful tools in the process of manifestation. It is not enough to merely think about your desires or visualize them. Manifestation requires a shift in your inner state, a complete transformation in the way you perceive yourself and your world. If you want something in your life, whether it's wealth, success, or anything else, you must live as though it is already yours. This is not a passive act, nor is it a form of pretending. It is an active, conscious decision to embody the reality you wish to experience in every moment of your life. When we think about the concept of living in the state of your wish fulfilled, we often imagine the physical manifestation of our desires as something far off in the future. But in truth, the key to manifestation is understanding that everything exists now. The future you desire is already contained within the present moment, and the only thing standing between you and it is your own assumption about its possibility. If you want wealth, you must live as though you are already wealthy. If you desire success, you must live as though you are already successful. The external world must reflect the inner assumption that you already have what you desire. This requires a deep level of faith. Faith is not simply a belief that things will eventually work out, but rather a belief that your desire is already fulfilled in the present. It is a knowing that your imagined reality is not some far-off dream, but a living, breathing truth that exists within you right now. You must trust in the reality of your imagination. You must believe that the inner world you are creating through your thoughts and feelings is the true source of everything that will manifest in your outer life. Imagine for a moment that you are wealthy. Visualize the life you want to live, the freedom, the comfort, the security that comes with financial abundance. See yourself living in a beautiful home, driving the car you've always wanted, traveling to destinations you've only dreamed of. Feel the emotions of wealth, relief, excitement, pride, joy, as though they are already a part of your life. You must become the person who already possesses these things. Feel what it would feel like to live in this state. You must experience the emotions of fulfillment as if they are happening right now. This is living in a state of your wish fulfilled. The key to this practice is consistency. It's not enough to live in the state of your wish fulfilled for a moment or two and then return to your old way of thinking. To truly transform your life, you must live in this state constantly. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions must all align with the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. This means thinking thoughts that reflect the reality you wish to create. It means speaking in ways that affirm the truth of your desires. It means acting as though what you desire is already a part of your present life, not something that will come in the future. If you want to be wealthy, stop seeing yourself as someone who is working towards wealth. Instead, see yourself as someone who already has it. Speak as if you are already wealthy. Make decisions and take actions that reflect the confidence of someone who knows they are financially secure. This doesn't mean you need to spend beyond your means or live in a way that is out of alignment with your current circumstances. What it means is that you must live with the mindset and the energy of someone who already possesses their desire. The world will mirror your internal state. The more you align your inner reality with your external desires, the more you will see evidence of your assumptions in the physical world. Living in the state of your wish fulfilled also means abandoning any feelings of lack or limitation. It means letting go of the belief that you must struggle or work endlessly to achieve your goals. The reality you desire is already yours, and it is waiting for you to claim it. The only thing standing in the way is your own beliefs about what is possible. If you continue to focus on what you don't have, you are reinforcing the belief that you are still lacking, still striving, still hoping. But when you live in the state of having, when you feel the emotions of already possessing your desire, you are affirming to the universe that you are complete, whole, and abundant as you are. This does not mean that you stop taking action or working towards your goals. Rather, it means that the action you take is inspired and aligned with the belief that your desire is already fulfilled. When you live in the state of your wish fulfilled, you act from a place of confidence and certainty, knowing that the path to your goals is clear and that every step you take is bringing you closer to your desired outcome. You are no longer acting out of desperation or fear of failure. Instead, you are acting from a place of knowing that the success you seek is already yours, and you are simply following the natural course of events to bring it into your experience. The practice of living in the state of your wish fulfilled also means being persistent in your assumptions. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the world around you seems to contradict your desires. These moments are not obstacles. They are opportunities to reinforce your belief. Every time doubt arises, remind yourself that your desire is already fulfilled. Every time the circumstances of your life seem to suggest otherwise, reaffirm your belief that your desire is already part of your reality. The more you persist in living in the state of your wish fulfilled, the more powerful and unshakable your belief will become. Eventually, the external world will shift to match your inner assumption. This practice is transformative because it allows you to step into the fullness of your desires before they are physically manifested. It shifts your consciousness from a place of lack and striving to a place of abundance and fulfillment. It allows you to feel the joy, the peace, and the excitement of having your desires already fulfilled. And this feeling becomes the magnetic force that attracts your desires into your life. Living in the state of your wish fulfilled is a practice of faith, imagination, and assumption. It is about believing in the unseen and knowing that the world around you is simply a reflection of your inner beliefs. When you live from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, the world must reflect that assumption. It must show you evidence of your inner state, bringing your desires into physical form. The more you live in the state of your wish fulfilled, the more you will see your life transform as the world bends to reflect the powerful assumptions you hold within. The process of manifestation is not just about wishing for something to happen. It is about creating the conditions within yourself that make it inevitable for your desires to manifest. And the key to this process lies in one profound and powerful truth. You must believe that what you desire is already yours. This is the foundation of everything that manifests in your life. When you begin to live from the state of already having what you want, you are tapping into the natural law that governs creation. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you believe. You can hope, pray, and wish for something, but if deep down you do not believe it is possible for you to have it, then your desires will remain distant and unfulfilled. Belief is the bridge between your desire and its manifestation. If you can believe in the reality of your desire, the world will reflect that belief. But belief is not simply intellectual. It is not something you think about in your head and then leave behind. True belief is embodied. It is a feeling, a conviction that runs through every part of you. To manifest your desires, you must live as though your desire is already a part of your present reality. The act of belief is not just about thinking positive thoughts or repeating affirmations. It is about feeling as though your desire has already been fulfilled. When you believe in something, it is not a passing thought. It is a state of being. Your belief must be so strong, so rooted in your consciousness that it becomes your reality. When you believe that you are already wealthy, for example, you stop looking for evidence of wealth because you know that it is already yours. You stop wishing for success because you feel that you are already successful. You stop hoping for love because you experience love within yourself. This shift from want to belief is the turning point in the manifestation process. So, how do you make this shift? The first step is to stop focusing on the lack of what you want. The more you focus on the absence of your desire, the more you reinforce the belief that it is not yet yours. It is easy to get caught up in thoughts of scarcity or the belief that what you want is not possible for you. But this only strengthens the feeling of not having. Instead, you must begin to think and feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. The moment you assume the feeling of already having what you want, you change the vibrational frequency of your being. You no longer align with lack, you align with abundance. And the universe responds by bringing your desires into your life. This shift in belief also requires that you live as though your desires are already manifested. You must embody the state of having rather than the state of wanting. If you desire wealth, for example, stop thinking of yourself as someone who is trying to get rich. Start thinking of yourself as already rich. Feel the emotions of financial abundance. Visualize yourself living the life you would lead if you were already wealthy. See yourself enjoying the freedom, security, and opportunities that come with wealth. Every thought, every action, and every decision must be made from the assumption that you already possess what you desire. But belief goes beyond just thoughts and feelings. It also involves the way you act in the world. If you truly believe that you are wealthy, then your actions should reflect that belief. You will not act out of fear or scarcity, but out of confidence and assurance. You will take inspired action toward your goals because you are no longer afraid of failure or rejection. Your belief in your own worth will guide you toward the opportunities that align with your desires. The way you carry yourself, the way you interact with others, and the way you make decisions all reflect the belief you hold about yourself and your desires. Another important aspect of belief is the ability to persist in it, even when the world around you seems to suggest otherwise. It is easy to believe when things are going well, but true belief is tested when circumstances seem to contradict your desires. It is in these moments that the power of belief becomes most important. The world will reflect whatever you believe to be true. So even when your circumstances appear to be telling you that your desire is impossible or far off, you must persist in your belief. This is where the power of assumption comes into play. You must assume that your desire is already a reality, regardless of what the external world shows you. Your persistence in this belief will cause the world to shift, aligning with your inner state. Belief is not something you wait for to appear in your life. It is something you create within yourself. It is a powerful internal force that shapes your external reality. The more you embody the belief that your desire is already fulfilled, the more you will see evidence of it in your life. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions will align, and you will begin to attract situations, people, and opportunities that reflect your new belief. The universe has no choice but to respond to your inner state, bringing your desires into physical form. The beauty of this process is that belief is not a static thing. It grows and expands as you continue to live in the state of your wish fulfilled. As you persist in believing that your desires are already yours, your belief becomes stronger and more unshakable. You begin to see the evidence of your desires manifesting in small ways at first, and then in larger ways as the momentum builds. This is the natural progression of manifestation. Belief leads to assumption, assumption leads to action, and action leads to the physical manifestation of your desires. Ultimately, the power of belief is the power of creation. When you truly believe that your desires are already yours, you become a magnet for them. Your inner world creates your outer world, and the more you align your beliefs with your desires, the more quickly and effortlessly they will appear. The process of manifestation is not about forcing or struggling to make things happen. It is about aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to create. And once you fully embrace the power of belief, you will see your life transform in ways you never thought possible. Your desires are already within you. They are already a part of your reality. The only thing that remains is for you to believe it. When you do, the universe will reflect that belief and bring your desires into your physical experience. The principle of repetition is often overlooked when it comes to the practice of manifestation. However, repetition is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal in the creation of your desired reality. It is not merely about repeating words or affirmations. Repetition is about reinforcing your belief and assumption until it becomes a natural part of your identity. The law of assumption is not a one-time event. It is a continuous practice that must be maintained consistently for the desired outcome to manifest. Imagine for a moment that you are planting seeds in a garden. Each affirmation, each thought, each feeling you have is like a seed that you are planting into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. At first, the seeds may seem small and insignificant, but as you continue to water them with your thoughts and feelings, they begin to grow. With time, those seeds will sprout into the reality you have been creating in your inner world. The more you repeat the feeling of already having what you desire, the stronger the impression in your subconscious becomes, and the more the external world must conform to your inner assumptions. Repetition is vital because it helps to overcome the resistance of doubt. Doubt is a natural response to the process of manifestation. When you first begin to use the power of assumption, your mind may tell you that your desires are impossible or unrealistic. You may look at your current circumstances and feel as though the life you desire is far beyond your reach. But this is where repetition comes in. Repetition strengthens your belief. It allows you to persist in your assumption, even when your senses tell you otherwise. The more you repeat the assumption that your desire is already yours, the more natural it becomes to believe it. Eventually, the doubt fades away and the feeling of already having what you want becomes more real to you than the doubt ever was. The process of repetition involves not just saying affirmations, but living in the feeling of having your desire. It is about embodying the state of your wish fulfilled and living in that state as often as possible. This is not something you do for a few minutes each day and then forget about. This is a way of living. You must constantly remind yourself of the truth of your desires, and the more you do this, the more ingrained that truth becomes in your consciousness. You are not just hoping for your desires to manifest. You are actively living as though they are already a reality. This continuous reinforcement creates an undeniable belief in your own mind that your desire is yours. When you persist in living in the assumption of your wish fulfilled, you are engaging in a process of mental conditioning. Just as a person who trains their body with regular exercise develops stronger muscles, so too does the repetition of your assumed beliefs strengthen your mental faculties and your connection to your desires. It is through this consistent repetition that your desires are drawn into your experience. Repetition is also important because it helps to build momentum. Just as an object in motion tends to stay in motion, so too does your energy and belief when it is consistently focused on a single intention. The more you repeat your assumption and live in the feeling of already having, the more the momentum of your desires begins to build. You begin to see small shifts in your life that indicate your inner assumptions are starting to manifest. Opportunities will appear that align with your desire. People will show up who support your vision. The circumstances around you will begin to rearrange themselves in ways that align with your new reality. This momentum is not always immediately visible, and that is why repetition is key. There may be moments when it seems like nothing is happening, when you cannot yet see the evidence of your assumption. But this is when repetition is most important. It is easy to get discouraged when you do not see immediate results. However, just as a plant takes time to grow from a seed into a full-grown tree, so too do your desires need time to unfold. The seeds of your desire have been planted in your subconscious, and with consistent repetition and feeling, they are growing beneath the surface. Trust in the process and continue to reinforce your assumption, even when the external world does not immediately reflect your inner state. The power of repetition is amplified when you focus not only on your words, but on the feeling behind them. It is the feeling of already having what you desire that creates the true power behind your affirmations. When you repeat your affirmation, do so with a feeling of joy, satisfaction, and peace that comes with having already achieved your desire. Imagine what it would feel like to live in that state, and let those feelings wash over you. The more you feel these emotions, the more you impress your subconscious mind with the belief that what you desire is already yours. This emotional engagement is the key to making the repetition of your assumption truly powerful. Consistency is the key to manifestation. The more consistently you engage with your desire, the more rapidly it will manifest. Every time you reinforce the feeling of already having your desire, you are building a stronger connection to it. You are creating a clear and unmistakable path in your mind that leads directly to your desire. This path is made through the repetition of your assumptions, your thoughts, and your feelings. There is power in repetition, not only because it reinforces your belief, but because it creates a vibrational match between your inner world and the outer world. Your thoughts and feelings are energy, and energy is constantly in motion. As you continue to focus your energy on your desire through repetition, you begin to send out a frequency that aligns with the reality you wish to create. The universe responds to this frequency by bringing your desires into your experience. Your belief, fueled by repetition, becomes the driving force that brings your desires into tangible form. Repetition is not a task. It is a commitment to the realization of your desires. It is a commitment to living in the assumption that your wishes are already fulfilled, and reinforcing that assumption in every thought, feeling, and action. The more you repeat your assumption, the more you become it. The more you live in the state of your wish fulfilled, the more your outer reality must reflect that state. Through repetition, you are not just imagining your desires, you are embodying them, living them, and allowing them to unfold naturally in your life. In summary, repetition is the key to manifesting your desires. It is the act of consistently reinforcing the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled. Through repetition, you train your mind to believe in the reality of your desires, and the external world must reflect that belief. Keep reinforcing your assumptions. Live in the feeling of already having, and trust in the process. The more you repeat your assumption with feeling and conviction, the sooner you will see the evidence of your desires appearing in your life. The act of living in the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled is perhaps the most essential practice in the process of manifestation. Many people make the mistake of focusing solely on their thoughts or affirmations without ever embodying the experience of having their desires in the present moment. The key to turning your dreams into reality is to feel as though your wish is already fulfilled. Your feelings, when aligned with your desires, are the most powerful tool in your arsenal for creation. Thoughts alone are not enough. Feeling is what drives the energy that brings your desires to fruition. When you deeply feel the reality of your desire being fulfilled, you align yourself with that reality. You step into the experience of already having it. And once you do this, the universe must reflect your assumption. The key to understanding this is realizing that everything you experience in the external world is a reflection of your internal state. Your feelings create your vibration, and that vibration is what draws the circumstances, people, and opportunities into your life that match your inner world. If you want to change your outer world, you must first change your inner state, and this change begins with the feelings you cultivate. Imagine for a moment that you are already living the life you desire. Perhaps you want to manifest a new home, a dream career, or the perfect relationship. Close your eyes and picture yourself already in that home, walking through its rooms, feeling the comfort and security it provides. Imagine yourself already in that career, waking up every day excited to do what you love, feeling the fulfillment and joy that comes with living your passion. Picture yourself in the relationship you desire, feeling loved, supported, and understood. As you engage in these mental exercises, it is not enough to just think about these things. You must feel them as though they are happening right now. The feeling of already having what you desire is what magnetizes your external world to you. It is not the external world that must change first. The shift starts with you. If you want wealth, for example, stop thinking of wealth as something you are trying to attain in the future. Start living as though you already have it. Feel the abundance. Feel the freedom. Feel the joy of knowing that you are financially secure. Your thoughts must reflect this inner certainty, and your feelings must mirror the emotions that come with already having your desire. Feel what it would be like to be free from worry, to live with ease, and to have the resources you need to do what you want. It is this feeling of already being wealthy that aligns you with the vibration of wealth and attracts it into your life. The reason feeling is so important is that it is the emotional charge that fuels your desires. It is easy to think positive thoughts, but thoughts alone are not enough to create lasting change in your life. It is the feeling that gives your thoughts power. When you feel the emotions of already having, you are sending a clear signal to your subconscious mind that this is your reality. Your subconscious then works to bring those feelings into the physical world, aligning your external circumstances with your inner assumptions. In the process of manifestation, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what you imagine. It accepts whatever you believe to be true. If you imagine yourself as already having what you desire, your subconscious will begin to create the conditions for that desire to manifest. The more you repeat this process, the more your subconscious will begin to believe that the fulfillment of your desires is a fact. And once your subconscious mind accepts this as true, it will begin to guide your thoughts, actions, and circumstances in a way that aligns with your new belief. Living in the feeling of your wish fulfilled also requires that you release attachment to the outcome. When you focus too much on the how or the when of your desires, you create resistance. The key is to trust that once you have aligned yourself with the feeling of already having, the universe will bring your desires to you in the perfect way and at the perfect time. You do not need to know how it will happen. Your job is simply to live in the assumption that it has already occurred. The universe will then orchestrate the details, often in ways that you could never have imagined. Another important aspect of living in the feeling of your wish fulfilled is the practice of letting go of doubts and fears. Doubt is one of the greatest obstacles to manifestation. When doubt creeps in, it weakens your belief and sends a conflicting signal to your subconscious mind. If you want to manifest something, you must eliminate the doubt and replace it with the belief that it is already yours. This is where persistence comes into play. Every time doubt arises, reaffirm your belief and return to the feeling of having already achieved your desire. The more you persist in feeling the fulfillment of your wish, the stronger your belief becomes, and the more quickly the universe will align with your assumption. The key to living in the feeling of your wish fulfilled is to make it a daily practice. It is not enough to imagine and feel your desire for just a few minutes each day. You must live in the feeling of already having at all times. This does not mean that you must constantly be thinking about your desire. It means that you must consistently carry the feeling of already having with you throughout your day. Whether you are going to work, spending time with friends, or running errands, live as though your desire has already been fulfilled. Feel the emotions of having what you want in every moment. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes to live in the state of your wish fulfilled, and the more rapidly your desires will manifest. You must also be aware of the feelings that arise when you encounter challenges or setbacks. It is easy to fall into fear or doubt when things do not seem to be going according to plan. But remember, your outer world is merely a reflection of your inner state. When you face challenges, return to the feeling of your desire already being fulfilled. See the challenge as part of the process and trust that it is leading you closer to your goal. When you stay grounded in the feeling of already having, you maintain alignment with your desire, and the challenge will soon dissolve or transform into an opportunity. The act of living in the feeling of your wish fulfilled is what ultimately brings your desires into physical form. It is the key that unlocks the power of manifestation. When you feel as though your desire is already real, you align your inner world with the outer world, and the universe responds by bringing your desires into your experience. The more you practice living in this feeling, the more quickly your desires will materialize. Your feelings are the creative force behind your manifestations. When you consistently feel as though your wish is already fulfilled, the universe will bring it to you in the perfect way, at the perfect time. When we talk about manifestation, we often focus on the conscious act of imagining and believing our desires into existence. However, one of the most crucial aspects of manifestation is living from the assumption that what you want is already yours. This simple yet powerful shift is the key to bringing your desires into reality. When you fully embrace the concept of already having what you desire, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions in a way that makes manifestation inevitable. The principle is simple. To manifest anything, you must first live in the state of having it. If you want to be wealthy, you must not see yourself as someone who is trying to accumulate wealth. Instead, you must see yourself as someone who is already wealthy. This is not a superficial act of pretending, but a deep inner assumption that wealth is already your reality. You must feel as though you are already in possession of your desire. The act of living in the assumption that you already have what you desire creates a vibrational match with the universe. Once this alignment occurs, the outer world has no choice but to reflect your inner belief. Living from the assumption of already having requires a shift in how you perceive your current reality. Most people approach manifestation from the standpoint of lacking. They believe they must work hard, struggle, or wait for the right time before they can have what they want. But this perspective is a limiting one. The truth is that everything you desire is already within you. You do not need to wait for the external world to change before you can begin living in the state of having. The moment you start assuming that your desire is already fulfilled, you begin to create the conditions necessary for its manifestation. One of the most powerful aspects of this practice is that it forces you to let go of the need for evidence. Many people wait for external proof before they believe they can manifest their desires. They want to see physical signs of success or wealth before they will believe it is possible for them to have it. But the law of assumption teaches us that we must believe first, and then the external world will follow. This requires faith, But it is not blind faith. It is the faith of knowing that the assumption you hold in your mind is the key to unlocking the world you desire. Imagine that you want to manifest a new job. Instead of thinking of yourself as someone who is searching for a job or waiting for the right opportunity to come, you must start living as if you already have the job. This is not about daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is about feeling as though you are already employed in the role you desire. When you live in the assumption of already having the job, you begin to think, feel, and act like someone who already holds that position. This assumption changes your behavior, your energy, and your actions, and as a result, the external world must reflect that new state. The key to making this assumption work is not just in believing that it is possible for you to have your desires, but in truly living from that belief. You must integrate your assumption into every part of your life. If you want to manifest wealth, you must not wait for a windfall or an unexpected inheritance. You must start living as though you already have the wealth. This doesn't mean you should spend money irresponsibly or act in ways that are out of alignment with your current financial situation, but it does mean that you must start feeling the emotions and embodying the behavior of someone who is financially abundant. When you live from the assumption of already having, you stop thinking about your desire as something that is out of reach. You begin to feel the gratitude, excitement, and confidence that come with knowing your desires are already fulfilled. This emotional alignment is what accelerates the manifestation process. The more you embody the state of already having, the quicker your desires will begin to materialize. The universe works in alignment with your internal state. When your assumption is strong and unwavering, the physical world must reflect that belief in a way that seems almost magical. Living from the assumption of already having also means abandoning the need for validation or approval from others. Many people delay their manifestations because they are waiting for someone else to approve of their desires or for external circumstances to change in their favor. However, the assumption you hold within yourself is not dependent on what anyone else thinks or says. Your assumption creates your reality, and that reality will unfold in the most perfect way, regardless of external opinions or judgments. Furthermore, living from the assumption of already having involves embracing the present moment fully. Too often, people delay their happiness or success because they are constantly focused on the future. They say, "I'll be happy when I get that job," or "I'll feel successful when I have enough money." But this mindset keeps them stuck in a perpetual state of lack. True manifestation occurs when you embrace the feeling of already having in the present moment. When you live in the assumption that you already have what you want, you stop postponing your happiness and start living from a place of fulfillment and abundance. This process requires practice and persistence. The external world may not immediately reflect your assumption, and this is where many people give up. They believe that because they do not see their desire manifesting right away, it is not working. But the law of assumption works continuously, even when you do not see immediate results. Your inner state is being aligned with your desire, and the outer world is beginning to conform to that state. Persistence is key. You must continue to live as though your wish is already fulfilled, even when the evidence seems to suggest otherwise. The universe does not work on a timeline set by your ego or your impatience. It works in alignment with your inner belief. Living from the assumption of already having also means you stop thinking about your desires in terms of needing or wanting. When you are in a state of want, you are subconsciously affirming that you do not have what you desire. This keeps your energy focused on lack, and as a result, it keeps you from manifesting what you want. The moment you assume that you already have it, you enter a state of receiving. You no longer feel the need to chase after your desires. Instead, you become an open vessel, allowing the universe to bring them to you effortlessly. This shift in perspective is profound. When you live in the state of already having, you free yourself from the fear, doubt, and worry that often accompany the pursuit of desires. You stop seeking external validation, and you stop looking for evidence of your desires in the physical world. Instead, you embrace the knowing that your desire is already yours, and you begin to live as though it is so. The power of this assumption is that it removes the blockages that prevent your desires from flowing freely into your life. By living in the assumption of already having, you shift your vibration to match the frequency of your desires. The world then aligns with this frequency and begins to reflect it back to you. This is the process of manifestation at work. When you live in the state of already having, you open the door for your desires to appear in your physical experience in the most natural and effortless way. In conclusion, the process of manifestation is not about wishing for something or waiting for the perfect moment to act. It is about shifting your inner state, aligning your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions with the reality you desire. By embracing the power of imagination, belief, assumption, and repetition, you begin to create a vibrational match between your inner world and your external reality. The key lies in living from the state of already having, embracing the feeling of your desires already fulfilled, and allowing them to unfold naturally in your life. As you consistently apply these principles, you will see that the universe responds to your inner beliefs, bringing your desires into physical form. Living in the feeling of already having what you want is the ultimate tool for manifestation. It is not about forcing things to happen, but about becoming aligned with the energy of your desires. The more you persist in living from this assumption, the more your outer world will reflect your inner reality. Trust the process, be patient with yourself, and stay committed to embodying the state of having. As you do, your desires will come to you, not through struggle or effort, but through the natural flow of alignment with your own beliefs and feelings. The power to manifest is within you. It always has been. The moment you realize this and live as though your desires are already a reality, the world will respond accordingly.